Just feel like I had to make this video because of some people that have been talking to me, telling me like what I need to do with my life and stuff. And I'm just thinking like I really feel like I can't exactly explain or show to people why I don't want to do things the normal way. Um, and one of the biggest things recently with my dad is he really wants me to be taking this new medication that the doctor prescribed me. And I feel like the main disagreement that we had, like the thing that he doesn't understand about the situation is like, it's not like I was mentally messed up, like in cold sweats, being super unproductive all day, like doing nothing, going to the doctor's office like in a panic, like please fix my life. And then the doctor 100% knows you need to take this at least once a day or else your life is fucked. Like, it's not like that. And I feel like I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's more of the image in his mind that I don't agree with. Like, very clearly to me, I was doing okay in life, but I also had these struggles from minor bipolar behavior. And now that I know what it feels like to be on the medication, and I've come off of it for some days, like, to me, it's just way more of living life to not be on it. Like, let me draw something. Like, I feel like I could, like, the best life for me on the medication is like 9 to 5 office job. I play video games for fun, like 2 hours a day, maybe 4 hours a day, or like have a party, like night out over the weekend or whatever. And that's my life for the next 10 years. And like in my mind, I just can't do that. That's not what I want my life to be. Like, to me, I'm very afraid of not being great, of not, if not reaching my potential, if not like actual, like I know I'm not going to arrive someday and then all of life is solved and I can coast from there and be happy. Like, that's not what I want my life to be like. Like, I feel like I need to be in a position where I'm taking risks and learning and growing like not super fast, but like more than other people. I'm not going to compare myself to the status quo and say I need to be like that. I want to look at the greats. I want to be like the greatest sport players or the greatest business owners or the greatest, most successful people in history. And I feel like I have some sort of potential to be more like that than most people. I don't I don't see a path to becoming them immediately. Like, none of them did, and if they did, they were very, very special. There's a lot of people that think they have that completely in them, and they're just naive, and I don't feel like I'm like that. But I feel like I can get to a point with the flexibility in my personality that I have. Like, I've been able to learn different skills. Like, when I really care about it and it's important to me, I've learned to be patient. I've learned to be open-minded when something matters to me, like a grade or certain projects that interest me in philosophy, psychology, video games, chess. Like, I know I'm capable of changing who I am to fit what needs to be done, but I don't want to waste any more potential than I have to. And something that's very hard about it is like there are many different life paths that I can choose from, and every day they're reducing. Like at this point, I'm 18, and so all of the child socialization, mind changing things that could have happened when I was between the ages of 4 and probably like 16, like those very critical years of neuroplasticity are beyond me. I won't be able to become a grandmaster unless I single-mindedly aim at it and outperform hundreds of people in my exact same position. Like it's just not going to happen realistically because it's not important to me and because a lot of that time has passed me. Like those two things, it's not cut and dry, but like it's just not important to me. Mainly is the thing that's making it out of my reach. Like no matter what I sacrifice, I can't get there. Basically, it wouldn't be worth it. And so like I need to I won't be a grandmaster, but like I don't know, maybe becoming a FIDE master or like the best chess player at chess tournaments, maybe winning some chess tournaments, that could be in my future. Like I don't need to I shouldn't compare myself to the best of the best in everything that I do because it's not possible to be great at so many different things. I just need to, from the position I'm in now, like over the next few months or couple years, like just look and understand my childhood, how I was raised, my past, what decisions I've made, and what my efforts have led to, and how that's changed me, and how that has changed my opportunities. I just need to think about that because all of these things that I'm stressing over, like, I don't want to work at a entry level job for a few years and then move up to a management position or like not even a management position. I don't want to make like $13 an hour for 2 years and then I make $14 an hour for 2 years and like go into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt for education and pay off loans and get a mortgage. Like to me, that's a very, I feel like I would be a slave to that kind of life and not in a good way. Like it would give me very little actual freedom to the point where I'm thinking to myself, like, it's not worth it. That's a lot of sacrificing. Sacrificing that much time in my day and have that much rigidity in my plans is not worth it to me. I want to be a lot more free than that. And it's very hard to communicate that to people who look at my situation and say it would be better if I followed the way that they did things or the way that they want to do things because it's not we don't see eye to eye. I don't think that I think like most people around me and I think that could be used to my benefit, but I need to almost pull away from them because we do not mix super well. Like it's not we don't mesh in the sort of way that they do with their friends or I do with people that I look up to. Like it's not I can't really benefit from their advice all of the time. Like most of the time I can't benefit from their advice because they live in such a different way from me that it's not helpful. A lot of the times they have more skills than me. A lot of the times they're more intelligent, they're more wise, maybe they understand something better than I do, but their approach to life is so fundamentally different to mine that listening to them would actually make me worse and like slow and it would not meet my goals. I would not do things the way I want to do things. And to me, like, it's more important to be in control and actually project what I want into the world. Like, I don't, on above all else, like, at any cost, by any means necessary, I do not want to slow down or underperform any more than I have to. I understand, like, I'm very big picture, like, I don't think I don't think small. I think very big. I have very big goals. I have very big plans. And I feel like that's not an issue. The issue is I'm just forcing myself to do it in a day or an hour when it doesn't work like that. Like, I do need to be slower, but I don't think I need to take advice from people who did it with the bare minimum. I don't want to do things at the bare minimum. I want to do things exceptionally well so that I can be exceptional. I want to outperform my peers. And I feel like it's more important to get leverage on things than it is to outwork everyone. Like, and I get this from Alex Hormozy. He's a $100 million CEO with a huge portfolio of companies. He sold 10 plus million, a few $10+ million companies. And like, to me, what I believe is that, and I get this from Alex Hormozy, is that like outworking is important, but only for a little while. And the people that are trying to give me advice have solely focused on outworking for a decade or a few decades as their career. And I feel like I can learn from that. That is valuable, but it's not the only thing that I need to focus on. And I feel like they oversimplify it and they don't look as big picture as I do. Because to me, working 40 years at some job, entry level into eventually management at the end of the spectrum, like it just does not feel valuable to me. I I I understand that would be better than what I have now, but I'm not going to spend 40 years on it. And I need to know that I'm not being I need to know that I'm being as smart as possible and that I'm using my time as effectively as possible and I'm not using my hard work as an excuse to not be approaching things in as smart as a way as possible. Like I understand people don't think like this. And I feel like they don't understand that it's not just because they found something that works and I found something that doesn't work. I found something that's harder and it's not as simple. It's harder, it's more complicated. It might take more time. You might not see results with it, but if I apply myself to it, then the plan is like the what I'm banking on is that it's not one-to-one work to output. Like I'm not selling my time and I'm not working on as short of a time horizon as they are. Like I'm trying to position myself not just with how I work, but with how I spend my attention and the energy that I put into things and the things that I pay attention to, because that to me is more important than like I'll work like 16-hour days if I have to and like lose sleep and split a room 7 ways with people and like I'm willing to do all these drastic things, but I'm not going to be drastic with my time, my attention, and I'm not going to be generous with my time. I'm not going to be generous with my attention. I'm not going to be generous with what I sacrifice because there's too much to lose. Over a period of 10 years, of 50 years, like all of that will just slip away if I let it, if I'm not careful with it, if I'm not very particular about what I spend. I understand, like, it's very easy to lose time, and it's very easy to lose energy and to pay attention to everything because we live in this information age and everything's like trying to grab you and pull you into this new fad that you pay attention to. And I understand, like, deep work is very important. So it's sort of a big rant with a lot of ideas in there, but that's because I'm so overwhelmed. Like, this is what's on my mind. This is what's been giving me cold sweats when I wake up at night and think of how unproductive I'm being and how incompetent I am compared to people who have been in this for years and people who have managed this for years and people who are so far above and ahead of me. And like, there's so many skills that I need to learn. There's so many skills. Like, the difference between me and someone who is 10 years ahead of me, it's not just like they're 10 years ahead of me and they did one thing for 10 years. Like, it's not just that. That's a lot of it. Like, they have the most important thing they did for 10 years. That's a lot of what makes them better than me. But along with that, like, their environment is so much different than mine. Like, there's people are thousands of times better at advertising and marketing video games. Like, Super Mario Bros. Was fun, but it's not addictive like the mainline video games we have today. Like Fortnite, Smash Bros., chess.com, even like the way that companies spend money to make something more addictive, there's like so much bait on the internet. Like, no matter where you go, there's advertisements, there's these promotional things. Like, even if they're not like promoted to you, like a friend knows about it, and like the way that it just seeps into your social circles and latches onto things that make you clingy to the new fad is like super dangerous. And I don't think we talk about that enough. I watched The Social Dilemma. I think it's a fabulous movie that should be required in schools to watch it because it's so good at teaching you about the influence that media has and like games have and stuff. And like, there's a lot of information that I'm putting out, but I've been super stressed about all of this. It feels so good to finally record it and put it somewhere. A point I was making earlier, like, about my medication. Like, on my medication, I feel like it removes a lot of this, it sort of numbs my emotional center, is what I'm perceiving. And like, it sort of makes me to a point where I don't care about things as much. Like, it feels like I have all of the horrible effects of alcohol, but none of the benefits. And what I mean by that is, like, alcohol is a drug where it makes it so that you're aware of the consequences of things, but you don't care. And that's what it feels like to be on this medication. Is like, I know, I can tell, like, if I just sit in the room, don't clean my room, play Fortnite all day, and do all this weird stuff, like, I know my life is going to be bad. It's not going to be better. It'll get worse if I do nothing. If I do all this consumer stuff, like, I understand that that is going to make it so I am worse off. But the thing is, like, I just don't care. And I feel like my motivational center doesn't work the same way that it used to. And so it bugs me. Like, I don't want to be on something that numbs me. I don't want to be on something that removes that sort of puts a block on the motivational circle in my head, in my mind, in the way I feel. Like, I don't want to be on that if it actively makes me worse, because it doesn't allow me to process things how I have been processing things for the last 18 years of my life. It's a it's a very big difference in a very subtle way. Like, I'm getting emotional about this. I shouldn't be getting emotional about this, but when I analyze it, like, I haven't done a single thing that I'm proud of on my medication. I've been very normal and slow and numb to everything on this medication, and I'm much more proud of the few decisions that I have made while I'm not on the medication. I feel like it's a drug. It changes the way my brain works, and like it's very jarring to be on this and watch it basically influence my perception of things and influence my behavior in ways that are difficult to articulate. Like, this is the biggest change that I've noticed, right? It's like, on the medication, I'm numb to things, and I won't be drastic about anything. I won't care about things when they happen. Like, I'll sit in a horrible posture that makes my neck feel bad just because it's sort of more comfortable than sitting up. Like, that's a good example. Like, but there's got to be tons of things I don't fully understand about what it is. And like, if the main thing that I'm noticing isn't benefiting me, then why would I risk all those unnatural side effects? Like, to me, it has to be clearly better than where it was before, and it's not. It just isn't. Like, I don't think I should be on this medication. I feel like being on this medication makes it so that I can't process things and I can't adapt to things naturally. It feels like it just numbs me and makes it so that I can't. I'm not. It makes me like happy. It makes me like enjoy life in a simpler way, and that's just not meaningful to me. I feel like it makes me normal, and I don't want to be on that medication. So yeah, that's what I have to say.